All right, so we'll go ahead and get started on this presentation. See, a couple people are still coming in, but it should be fine. First of all, I want to welcome everybody for coming here for our webinar today about the Elks Emergency Assistance Fund for the fiscal year of 2024. If you haven't been part of this program before, or just a new point of contact or social worker working with us, this should answer most of the questions that you have, or answer questions that previous POCs or social workers have asked us before. We've included them in here, and this should be able to assist you. Of course, yesterday I sent out, me and Emily, the co-host here, sent out the FAQs and the new applications for this fiscal year yesterday. If you're one of the social workers and haven't received it yet, speak to your point of contact for your area, and they should be able to get that to you. Like I said, my name is Renee Villalobos. I'm joined by Emily Cruz, my co-host today. Together we make up the point of contacts at the Elks for you, who oversee the Elks Emergency Assistance Fund for this year. Today we're also joined by Mary Morgan, my director, and Hannah Graber. You won't see them, but they are in the back moderating for us as we go through this presentation. So if you type any questions in the chat, since you will be muted, and we ask that you stay muted so we can make it through this presentation and you guys can ask questions at the end at the Q&A. They'll be able to answer you while either me or Emily are presenting. A little background about us, if you don't know about the Elks or the Elks National Veteran Service Commission. We are a 501c3 tax-exempt organization, and we operate through a generous grant from Elks National Foundation. All of our funds go towards these 5 areas: employment, homeless and housing, military families, health, educational support for veterans, and basically that's our mission, to help out as many veterans as we can. And by teaming up with you all at the VAs that you're at and just the organizations you work with, we hope to help as many veterans as we can throughout the year. So let's get started. Like I said, we're here to help. And of course, me and Emily are going to be your point of contacts, and we're going to be splitting up the areas that we have control of as far as us being your POCs at the Elks. As you can see on the top portion, Emily Cruz is going to be in charge of most of California, which is San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Long Beach, Loma Linda, and then we have Seattle and Las Vegas. Of course, her information is there. If you want to take that down, she'll be able to assist you with any questions that you have for your specific area. On the bottom portion is going to be me. I'll be working with the same individuals that I've worked with before in the same areas. So it'll be Tampa, Orlando, Miami, Chicago. New York is new for me this year, so I'll be taking over that, as well as Phoenix, and then working again with Washington, D.C. But it's always nice to have both of our information in case one of us is out sick or anything else like that. You can reach out to us, and either one of us will be able to assist you or get whatever information that you need. One thing I would like to say, since we did send out applications and everything, and we're giving you this information here, if you could please refrain from sharing our information with veterans until after they've been approved through this program. We just ask that because if they try to contact us directly, we as an organization can't really help them with this program until they've been vetted by you guys and you make sure they have all the proper documentation due to HIPAA and everything else like that. But once they go through you, we've approved them and everything else, it's more than fine to give them our information, to give us a call in case they need help with any of the creditors or any address changes or anything else like that. That's when it's perfectly fine. But anything prior to that kind of helps us out because we are a small team. And then when we're flooded with a lot of veteran calls, the most we can really do is refer them to each of the POCs that they have in each area, because we personally can't fill out the application with them until it has your signature as a social worker and their signature, and they get the proper assistance that they need, which we can't really provide. So if you could please do that, it'd be greatly appreciated. A big thing to remember is that the fiscal year begins April 1st, and you can begin sending us applications April 27th. So here in 7 days, you can start sending us applications for this new fiscal year. If you send them in a little bit earlier, we would ask that you please don't, but we know it happens sometimes, but it will be tagged onto the next fiscal year as far as your fundings. And as far as the applications, if you've had a chance to look at them, there has not been any real big changes from last year. So same process, same thing, everything. If you do have questions about it, of course, reach out to me or Emily, or ask them at the end, and of course, we'll answer it for you. Pretty much, I was just going to do the beginning part here. From here on out, I'm going to let Emily speak, and she'll tell you more about the application and just fill you in with everything that she possibly can.
So as my colleague stated earlier, I'm here to talk about the overview and eligibility of the program itself. So the Emergency Assistance Fund is mainly designed to help veterans who are currently either facing homelessness or as a preventative tool to keep veterans from entering into homelessness. So as intended, this is for veteran significant need, and it is a one-time financial assistance of $2,500 that can be split into 3 separate bills. And so a lot of these bills will focus on things like security deposits, their rent, utility payments such as electricity and water bills. But every now and then we understand by case basis is that there are particular instances that can be impacting your veterans' housing status. And so we're always open to having those conversations with your social workers about those case by case instances. And we'd much rather have a discussion on whether or not that this fund is best applicable for them. And so within the next section that I'll be talking to you all about is basically going to cover all of the roles and main contacts in social workers that kind of go over the whole process of who's going to be a part of this fund and each little aspect that there is a part of it. So each facility should have at least one main point of contact within your social workers. This main point of contact is going to be acting as essentially a leader for the social workers. They'll be designating the emergency assistant applications to each individual social worker and having those social workers review the applications with their veterans. Once the application is completed from there, those main point of contacts will then review the application themselves, making sure that there's no discrepancies with the information provided. But then once they're done reviewing those applications, they can then send those applications to us directly, either Renee or myself. Working as a social worker, like I stated before, we do ask that you work one-on-one with your veteran clients to send over the application that is completed to your main point of contacts. Veterans must complete the application in partnership with their social worker for the sole purpose that we unfortunately cannot receive direct applications from a veteran themselves. We do ask again that you work alongside them, make sure that they understand the process clearly, make sure that they're giving us the necessary information that's needed for them. And we just ask this predominantly because it helps with any sort of miscommunication errors along the line. We really understand that a lot of these veterans are within time sensitive cases. And so following this process in this way really helps maintain that time sensitivity. Like I stated, all applications must be sent through to your main point of contact within each facility. This really helps us, like I stated before, with a lot of the communication, allowing to avoid any sort of discrepancies or errors that can come with that. But of course, if there's any questions that we might have, if we do see something that might be missing, or if we just have any general questions, we will always go to the referring social worker within the application that is provided as far as contact information. And traditionally, we do say that for each facility, we do appreciate there being either 1 to 2 main points of contact per facility. Some facilities do choose to have more than one, and we understand, given the um, platitude of the different veterans that you might be facing, if your facility finds that this is helpful, then we completely support that. But we do find that there's some challenges the more main point of contacts that you do add. So we do suggest that, together as a facility, you guys speak with one another as social workers, communicate who that main point of contact is and how you're going to start processing your applications with your veterans, and kind of streamlining within your facility what that is going to look like as far as the application process. And then of course, like I stated, just maintaining and working together and establishing clear communication as far as that application process is really vital. And then, of course, once the main point of contact does have the reviewed application, make sure that you're CCing all your social workers within that facility so that everyone is on board that the application has been sent over and that it's currently being processed. So within the next slide, I'll be going over the application sections. Fortunately, nothing within the emergency assistance application has changed significantly. And so if you've been working with us in the past with this program, you should be already very familiar with the application. But for anyone that's new, a new social worker working with us, here's just a general breakdown of what the application looks like and what our expectation is as far as the information we're receiving on this application. So for the first section, it's going to be talking about and referring to you as the social worker. Of course, we just need your name, your last name, and then usually we ask for an email and a phone number as a way of contacting you. Like I said, if we do have any of those questions or if we're missing information. The second part of that section is going to then be about your veterans identifying information. So again, their first and last names, usually whichever contact information is available to them. We understand that sometimes these veterans might not have a phone number or an email. So we do give you the availability of providing either of those options whenever they're available. And then, of course, some other general information that we'll go into further, but their date of birth and then also the years that they were in service and when they left. The next part of the section you'll see is the creditor information. This is a really important part of the application. This is usually where the veteran is going to be paying either their landlord or their um, electricity or utility payments. And so it's really important for us that we have the information necessary as far as who the creditor's name is, what's their address, and also the account that's going to be credited for the funds. So basically, what account is tied to that veteran, if it's their rent or if it's their utility bills. And again, this information is really important to double check. We do want to delay any sort of, um, or we would like to prevent any sort of delays that can occur, given that some of these veterans are facing some time sensitive circumstances. And then, of course, speaking about veteran circumstances, that's going to be the next section. We do ask that you, as a social worker, discuss with the veteran basically what is the circumstances as to why they're within the situation that they're currently facing, the reason that they're going to need this assistance, and then their plan for the future as to maintaining their housing status. We do look for really clear and concise explanations. They're greatly appreciated and they're really great for the application process, and they're really clarifying as far as any small details that we might have. And then the next section, the last, but I would say one of the most important sections is, of course, the signatures by both you, the social worker, and your veteran that you're working with. These signatures verify for us that you, the social worker, have received this information from the veteran, but also have reviewed it and acknowledged that everything within the application is there that we need. And also the signature for the veteran verifies that they're comfortable providing this personal information to us. We do, again, ask that these applications be maintained within your facility. A part of the application does have private information as far as the veteran. And so we do respect when they give us that signature, and the fact that they are providing personal identifying information. And we do want to keep that as secure as possible. But for the next following slides, I will pass it along to my colleague Renee, and he will follow up with the rest of the process for the emergency assistance application.
All right, thank you, Emily. Yeah, as you said, just continuing talking about the application, I'm going to be talking about the documentation requirements. If you've worked with us, you know this is a big part of it. It's going to encompass DD-214s or something that identifies the veteran. Ideally, we want a DD-214, but we can accept alternative documents. We know with a lot of the older veterans, can't really read their DD-214s, or they were lost when a lot of DD-214s got messed up in the fire. So we do accept other things. The main thing that I'm going to be looking for is the veteran's name, their date of birth, and the years of service. Some of the ones that we've seen people use before is HINC, Vista, and Burroughs. If you have a system that shows that information, all I really need is a screenshot. You can run it by me, or just give me a call, let me know to see if it works, and if it looks legit to me and it's coming directly from you, we'll make it work. If there's any other issues, just let me know, and we'll find some sort of way to make this work out so the veteran can get the assistance that they need, and we should be good as far as that, just to identify the veteran. A big one that I'll talk about is Social Security numbers. If you're looking for information on a veteran, if they've received help from us before in our program or just anything, we would ask that you just send us your the veteran's name and their date of birth. We'd rather not receive the full social because we don't keep any of that information. Just due to HIPAA and everything else, we don't want that veteran social just flying around everywhere and maybe someone catching it. So please, if you're looking for any information on a veteran, just first name, last name, and date of birth, and we'll be able to look it up in our system and let you guys know. As far as creditors, copies of bills, and whatever you want to pay for the veteran, we're usually looking for things like utility bills. In the case of rent and security deposits, I'm always going to want a signed lease. When I say a signed lease, I'm going to want to see the signature of the veteran, of course, the signature of the management that's there, or the landlord. And of course, other little things that I'm going to be looking for is that the veteran, where the veteran's living at. So it's either the house with an address to it, or the address to the apartment, studio, or whatever it is on there. As long as I can see all that, I can put it in and then send the check request to my accounting and get it approved for you guys. If there's anything weird going on when you send us a copy of this stuff, of course, we have templates that we can help you out with, like say the veteran owes more than the $2,500. We have a payment plan documentation that we can send you. Just request that. If for some reason the veteran is on the lease with 3 or 4 other people and you need a roommate rental documentation, we can get that to you. Promissory letters for the landlord in case the veteran's getting evicted or anything else like that, just to promise them that we're going to pay. We can get that to you. All you got to do is just email either me or Emily, or give us a call, and we'll work that up for you to help you out. We don't run across this too much, but we do every once in a while. Name changes for veterans. Their name might be different on their DD-214 than what's on their lease or anything else. If anything like this does come up, if it's due to a marriage, if you can give us a copy of the marriage certificate, that'll suffice. If they just decided to change their name, you can just send us the proper court documentation that just shows their original name and their name that they changed it to, and then everything should be fine. And the last thing I would ask, if possible, if you could please write it in, when you're doing the application, if you can do it in PDF version. It just makes the process streamlined so much quicker. Not saying that people have bad handwriting. I know I don't have the greatest in the world, but it just causes less mistakes when we're reading through multiple applications, because an A might look like an E or something like that, and then it just makes the process that much longer when we make a mistake for the creditor, the veteran's name, or anything else like that. So if you can do it, PDF, type it out and send it over to us. That would be a great help. If not, if you write it by hand, I completely understand, because I know some of you do fax it over to us. We're still going to process it the same way. We might just follow up if we can't read something. Payments and timelines. Of course, we are a small team. It's me and Emily working on this program, so we'll respond to you as soon as we can. We know that a lot of the housing needs are time sensitive, especially for these 3-day evictions or 10 days or whatever it may be. So just understand that we're working on other applications too, but if it's something that's dire and the veteran's getting kicked out the next day or something like that, give us a call, let us know, and we'll work on it as quickly as we can. But we will need all the documentation just to make sure that we can process it as quickly as we can. Talking about applications, a complete application should be sent to us by end of day Monday for checks to be mailed out that same week. Our check request is sent to our accounting department on Tuesday. We usually do it Tuesday morning. That way our accounting can process it and get us checks by Thursday. And then that's usually when we send it out to the creditors. By default, of course, our mail regularly just goes out, typical snail mail. So it will take 7-10 business days for the checks to arrive wherever they're going to. Sometimes they'll get there quicker. Sometimes they'll get there a lot later. So just give it time. Let your veterans know that. Let the let the creditors know that. And if you need a promissory letter or anything else, like I said, we can provide that to you, just so they know that the veteran was approved and that everything else is good. Of course, pardon me. Of course, Tuesdays when we do our check requests, we'll also be sending out an email letting you know that everything was approved. This way, you as a social worker and the veteran and the point of contact can look to see that all the information for the creditor is correct and for the veteran. If there's anything wrong, I would say email us back as quickly as you can. That way we can fix information that's going out to on our check request or in our system. So when we print out letters to where it's being mailed, we make sure it gets to the right place. So typically that's going to be Tuesday afternoon. And then, of course, like I said, by end of day Thursday, the checks will be going out. A big thing to remember is that we can reissue checks as needed for you guys, but out of caution and just kind of like our guidelines, we do have to wait 3 weeks, so 21 business days, until we can reissue another one. So just keep that in mind. We do periodically check in with all of our main contacts, just for any updates that we have as far as funding. I usually send it to my point of contacts when they request it or when they need it, or if they need a ledger or anything else, just to bounce off of each other to make sure that all applications have gone through. But if you ever need anything, don't be scared to reach out to us, or if you have any questions or something seems off, just reach out to us, and we'll go through the system and look through everything to make sure that we're all on the same page. Considerations. If you have any questions or encounter like something strange, something that's just out of the norm that you don't have an answer to or just haven't seen before, definitely give us a call, because I know some of these veterans do go through weird situations. Maybe there was like a house fire or something like that. Just give us a call. We'll work something out with you. We'll see if we're able to help you through this program. If not, we'll see what other ways we can assist you. But yeah, it never hurts to reach out to us, because there's always going to be something within the year that's strange or just out the norm, and we can accommodate stuff. So just give me or Emily a call or an email, and we got you. The biggest thing I would say is just for anything, any evictions or a landlord is starting to evict someone, apply as soon as you hear about the problem. You don't have to wait for them to get kicked out or come close to getting kicked out. That way we know the veteran's still housed, and it just relieves some stress that they have. Thinking about applications, if a veteran needs help with a small bill, we recommend to see if you can find another organization or some other resources to help them out, because this is, like we said in the beginning, a one-time program to help the veteran with $2,500. So we would like to see the veteran that you're assisting get the full amount. So if that means that the veteran was only going to use $500, if you really still do want to push that through, we'll probably ask you if you want us to pay advance on their like utility or their rent or anything else like that for the next like 3 months or 4. That way they're using more of the money, and it kind of goes a longer way to help them out and save money and stay housed. Another thing to think about is when a veteran owes significantly more than $2,500, we probably are going to ask for a couple of things from you. First of all, we're probably going to ask you if another organization is going to be helping out. We are going to need a payment plan that the landlord's going to be in agreement with, or another organization that's paying. We need to know how much they're paying, when they're going to pay. That way we know the $2,500 that we're sending is going to keep the veteran housed. Like I said, we do have those documentations that we can give you. A payment plan agreement is probably the biggest one that we send out all the time. But on all those, we will have to see the signatures from the landlord and whatever agency that they're working with, just to make sure that we're all good and this veteran stays housed. Of course, there's like a million other scenarios, and it's all individually based by like the state or where you're working at. So if you do have anything that's popping up inside your head right now, you can definitely ask it during our Q&A, and me or Emily or someone else on our team that's also been working on the EAF program should be able to answer anything that you have. From here, I'm just going to let Emily finish off for us, and then we'll hop into our Q&A at the end.
So like my colleague Renee stated earlier, always feel free to call us with any unusual situations your veteran might be facing with their housing, or just any general questions that you might have. We're always here to, assist you all in those questions, and we're always available to you all. I'm personally really excited to be working with you all this fiscal year and to really help out the veterans that you're assisting. But to further ado with the contact information, I would like to give the floor to you all with any questions that we didn't really get to cover, or anything that you might be really curious about.
Hi, this is Danielle from Las Vegas. I did have a couple of follow-up questions. The digital signature page is that the same one as it was last year? I know it's been the same for a number of years. Is that the same one?
Yes, correct. It should be the same one this year too.
Okay. And the payment plan documentation, can I get a template for that, or your form, so that I have that on file in the event that we would need that for amounts over $2,500? I know we've coordinated in the past, local resources covering a portion, Elks covering a portion. So it would be helpful to have that already on hand, because I anticipate that we'll be doing that again.
Yeah, of course. If you want to shoot me an email, that way
Okay.
I can just directly send it to you, and
Perfect.
you should be good.
Very good. And since Emily, covering Las Vegas, will you be reaching out in terms of how much money is for our specific community? Because I know we found out also that last year about this time.
Yes, I believe we should be shortly reaching out to all the facilities, giving an update for the fiscal year as far as what the budget they have to work with and anything like that.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Looking forward to another
Yeah,
year.
no problem. Likewise.
We have a question in the chat. Would you like to have both Emily and Renee copied on all submissions, or just for the areas that you are assigned to?
As far as copying us, I would say just reach out to your point of contact. If Emily's in charge of your area, just have her on there. If you feel like it's a really weird question that you kind of want to see both of our inputs on, I would CC both of us. If there's anything strange that I can't answer, I'd probably CC Emily on her, or vice versa, just to help each other out. But that's the best way I would say it. If she's your POC, just email her. If she's out or anything, I'll reach out to you guys to let you know that week, and I'll be the one answering for you guys.
Thank you. Hi, this is Nita from San Diego. I just 2 questions. So he mentioned, Renee mentioned that whenever someone's asking for a small amount of money, or like maybe you said request that they have maybe 3 months worth of like a cushion. If that situation does happen, even if it's not a smaller amount of money, how do we need to ask for that sort of cushion? Because sometimes the situation, it would be helpful if like 1 month is paid in advance, whether it's their portion or something. But we don't want to, we try to limit that towards the end of our funding, towards the end of the year, to only be, helping those with the exact amount. But is that okay to ask, and how do we ask it on paper?
Everybody does it differently. You can do it either way. You can either send the application. What some people do is they'll put the amount that they're requesting, and then in parentheses on the side, they'll put like plus 3 months advance rent or something like that. As long as it's nothing crazy like plus 1 year, I'm probably not going to do a follow-up with you. But we know a lot of these veterans are, especially with the geriatric population, they are very low income, so $500 is going to take them a really long way. But even if you don't want to put it on the application, shoot us an email, and we'll just be able to help you out and tell you what to put on the application, and then we should be able to just streamline it. You guys can do whatever you want. Worst thing that happens is that I just kick it back to you for a second for a small correction.
Okay, that's good. And then also, Emily, I just saw that you were assigned to San Diego, and we do have 3 of us in our little Elks team here, and we have a really good communication between the 3 of us. But is it okay to continue adding all 3 of us to the submissions along with the case manager?
Yeah, definitely. If that's the best for your facility, and so that you can all stay in contact, I can make sure I can do that within the San Diego facility, correct?
Okay, yeah, I don't know if everyone's as large as ours is. I mean, I'm assuming LA is pretty large as well, but just wanted to make sure it wasn't adding confusion to have so many people on there.
Definitely. I can definitely accommodate that. I agree. I think it'd be best to make sure that all your social workers are up to date with whatever's going on.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, all. I have a couple of questions. This is Sequoia from San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah, hi. Thank you. First off, thank you so much to both of you, or to all of you. This is my favorite time of year. So my first
Yeah,
question is,
likewise.
yeah. The first question, there was a question, I think someone else had added this to the chat. Do the applications, we can start submitting them the end of this month or the end of April?
So this month on the 27th,
Okay, okay.
we'll start accepting them.
Oh, perfect. And then a second question I had was, I understand a signed lease to be submitted, would like a lot of us work with housing authorities locally, would like a HAP letter or HAP contract suffice in place of a lease, or?
Yeah, as long as it looks official and I can just see everyone's signature and like I said, I guess as far as leases or any other type of documentation from HUD-VASH or anything else, as long as I see the veteran's name, where they're housed, the lease contract or whatever, and where I need to send the money to as far as a creditor, because that's one thing I always have to read through a lot of paperwork sometimes. As long as that's all there, we're good.
Okay, perfect. And then my final question, this is my first time being the POC for our facility. So forgive me if I'm asking it to the wrong person, but how do we track whether or not a veteran has accessed this resource in the past? Is that something we do internally, or is that something you all do?
Yeah, you can give us a call or shoot us an email. Like I said, please don't send me social security numbers. Just send me the veteran's full name, first and last, and you can send me the middle name if you want, but I usually just look it up by those two, and the date of birth. And if they're not in my system, me or Emily will email you back and let you know that they haven't used the program before.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Mhm. So any further questions for anyone?
We have another request in the chat.
Mhm.
Would it be possible to provide the status of submitted applications to the POC as well? The approval notice normally goes to the referrer, but would also like to receive an update upon approval if possible to keep internal records.
Yeah, as far as emails, when we do it on Tuesdays, emails should be going to everyone. So it should be the point of contact, the referring social worker or case manager, whoever it might be, and the veteran. The only reason I can think if it didn't make it to you is probably because there was a mistake in the emails or something like that. So we'll try our best to get it out to you again, but if we can't figure it out, I mean, that's kind of the issue that we run into sometimes. That's why I ask for stuff to be written, typed in PDF version, because it makes it easier for us to not make a mistake when we're doing stuff like that. But for sure, yes, we can send it out. If you didn't receive it, just give us an email and we'll send it out to you too. All right. Any last questions?
Are you guys able to start accepting referrals prior to 4/1? I know funding won't be approved till after 4/1, but can you start taking referrals now? Or like, I don't want to bombard you, but do you want us to wait till 4/1?
No, like I said, we can start taking the applications on the 27th.
Okay.
So we'll
Got it,
hold on
thanks.
to them and review them and stuff, but not until April 1st is when we'll start actually processing them.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, it's Nita again from San Diego. Sorry, I guess this is kind of directed to you, Emily, and apologize. We got a request yesterday. This is not for
Okay.
fiscal year 2024, but
Mhm.
from our supervisory team is wanting like a breakdown of really it's not about the money they have a question with, but they wanted to see a breakdown of how many veterans were served through Elks
Okay.
within the fiscal year 2023 and 2024. So I think Fenella may have sent an email, but just wanted to clarify, it wasn't about the money they receive. It was just like how many veterans are getting assistance from you. I think it's
Okay.
someone else requested that information to our supervisors, and then they came to us, and then we went to you guys.
Okay. I do have that email, so I
Oh,
think I could
okay.
get back to you hopefully later
Awesome.
today or this week on that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem.
It's pretty easy for us to run that data, so we can provide that throughout the year, or at any time if you'd like, and we can break it down by like rent, security deposits, utilities, things like that. So just let us know what you're looking for and we'll do our best.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay.
Any further questions before we wrap up here? Okay.
Looks
Well,
like we're
thank you
good.
for your time. We really appreciate it. And like I said, I'm really excited to be working with you all this year. And, let's do what we do well.
All right. I want to thank everybody for being here today. Of course, we recorded this today, so if any of you need it, you can definitely give me or Emily a call or an email, and once this is all ready to go, we can send it out to you for anybody that missed it, and then just follow us up with any questions that you have, and happy to start the new fiscal year with everybody that was here today.
Mhm.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.